Good afternoon. It's about lunchtime. We ended up sleeping until 11 today. I know why I was tired, because I don't know what it is. I have fun sleeping at somebody else's house, and it was fun hanging out with Eileen and London, but nothing feels better than sleeping in your own bed. So I didn't even realize that it was 11 until I looked at the time, and I was like, oh my goodness, we've been sleeping for this long. I didn't know what to make for lunch, and I did an Amazon Fresh order on Friday, and I decided might as well use the ingredients I bought on Friday to make the Sushi Bake that I was planning to make for dinner later this week, or just for any meal that we wanted to eat. I've been really into sushi bakes lately because I saw a few YouTubers making some on YouTube, and it looked interesting to me and it looked pretty tasty, so I wanted to see if I could do it. And now I've been making it a few times a month, and I kind of change out the ingredients depending on what I feel like or what we feel like doing. I actually found this on Amazon Fresh, and I'm like, ooh, I've never seen lobster classic, because usually we make it with imitation crab, and now it's going to be imitation lobster. And the one thing that Dwayne wanted me to try is the crab meat, because he thinks that it might be a little bit sweeter because it's actually crab meat versus the imitation stuff. And the other normal things that we usually include are the furikake seasoning. We have Kewpie mayo, avocados for the top, cucumber, green onions, and I have my rice cooking. It's actually a pretty quick little thing to make for dinner or for lunch. Most of it involves me just cutting everything into pieces, but other than that, there's no real cooking involved. Now that we've chopped up the vegetables and the lobster meat, we're going to add the Kewpie mayo. So I'm a big believer in not wasting anything, so I have actually cut the top off of this one, and I'm going to use this handy little spatula that I bought from Bed Bath & Beyond to get everything out of here before I break into the new one. Yeah, pretty good. That's not enough mayo for me, so I'm going to add a little bit more. What I also forgot to mention is that we need a little bit of cream cheese. I just melted the remaining amount of cream cheese that we have, and I'm just going to use it all because we like cream cheese. We're then going to mix everything together. I think all of that looks good. I opened up the can of the lump crab meat and I am draining it because we don't need extra liquid into the mixture, so I'm just going to add this now. Give that a good little mix. So I'm going to give it a little try to see if it tastes good. I feel like it needs a little bit more salt and pepper. Well, I didn't add any salt and pepper, so I feel like it needs salt and pepper. Add a little bit to taste. Give it a little mix. Now that's all mixed and incorporated, I'm going to work on the rice. So I have some of this sushi seasoning, and I'm just gonna add this to taste. We don't want it too sour, but we also want to be able to taste it, so it's just finding the right balance of adding enough sushi seasoning to how you like your sushi rice, basically. What you're going to do now is layer everything together. So you're going to take your sushi rice and make a thin layer on the bottom, depending on how much rice you want. I don't think I'm going to use all of this rice. And you'll see that my container's a little small, but there's only 2 of us eating it. Usually when I make it, I'll make it for me and my parents and just bring it over to them, or make it for somebody else, but since it's just for us, then I'm going to make a smaller one. Then you're going to take your furikake seasoning and sprinkle a light layer on the top of the rice. If you've put too much, it's okay because furikake seasoning is pretty good and tasty. Then you're going to take your crab and lobster mixture and add it to the top of this. I want to try to use it all because I'm not going to throw any of this away. I will make it fit. I didn't even need to make it fit. It fits. Then, lastly, you're going to take your furikake seasoning and put another layer on top. Now that everything's done and layered together, we're going to take it and put it in the oven to bake for a little bit. I'm using our toaster oven because it's a small enough container to fit in there and I don't have to warm up the big oven and warm up the whole house. So you can put it in here, and I set the temperature at 350, and I'm just going to do it for 20 minutes, but you basically just want to watch it until it's nice and bubbly and the top has been browned. So it looks like everything in there is all nice and bubbly now, so it looks about time to take it out. The last thing we're going to do is take the avocado that I sliced and just put a light layer on the top. My avocado is not super pretty, but I still eat it even though it has a little bit of brown on it. And that's it. That's the sushi bake I decided to make for lunch today. So we're ready to eat our lunch. For this sushi bake, I ended up using imitation lobster and the lump crab meat in the can, and we normally eat it with I do baked salmon and the imitation crab. So let's see how our changes affected it. So here's Dwin's reaction to it. He likes putting sriracha in his. I don't like the spice, so different taste for different people. Does it taste any different?
Oh yeah, so you get more of the seafoody taste afterwards. As opposed to the imitation crab, you get more of the sea flavor.
Because of the lump crab versus...
Probably because of the lump crab, because it has the juices.
Yeah, because I mean I drained most of it, but you know, I still have to leave a little bit in. And then I don't know if can you taste the difference with the lobster, the imitation lobster? Probably not, no, huh?
I don't, but it does taste more seafoody. Have you ever had real crab in your California roll?
Yes.
It's a completely different taste.
Yeah, it is, and it's not that weird like chewy texture that.
Yeah, the rubbery.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's got more of a fresh taste to it. It still tastes like a sushi bake with like better ingredients.
I think it's really good. I do taste a little bit of the crab meat. You're right. I don't taste as much of the imitation lobster. I mean, it's there and it probably has the flavor, but I don't taste it very much. But the addition of the lump crab meat is really good. And for the most part, whenever we make these, my normal is imitation crab and salmon. So we always have one fresh aspect to it. But I think for the next one, I might do the jumbo, the lump crab meat and salmon, so that for the most part, all of it's going to be basically fresh ingredients versus having the chewiness of the imitation crab or the imitation lobster. But I think for my next bite, I'm actually going to add sriracha because for some reason right now I am craving a little bit of that sweet and spiciness that sriracha adds. And I guess it all depends on taste because I don't always prefer it, but this time I think it's going to taste good with a little bit of that kick.
Every once in a while, next to Unlockables, 99 Ranch Market actually has like these little small lobsters. I mean, they're not like super big, they're like half a pound or something like that. I'm wondering, do you think we could add real lobster just to like bring it up and just see what it does if you actually put like maybe real lobster, and maybe we'll get actual crabs. I put actual crabs in there. Probably not snow. I mean, we get lobster. We're probably not gonna get like snow legs, right?
Snow crab legs.
Snow crab legs. But we could try full lobster, maybe.
So, I mean, I'm okay with that. We can always do a real lobster, salmon, and if we can find something cheap enough, real snow crab legs, because I did that for Thanksgiving. So we'll have a lobster, crab, and salmon bake and see how that turns out. And it's all going to be fresh ingredients, so it might even bring it up even more. Yeah, I'm willing to try. We'll see if we can find a Kewpie mayonnaise imitation recipe out there, and then we can try it with that.